What's up, real MVPs? Ricky Whitmer here, and welcome into our episode 2 reactions to Lanterns. Lanterns episode 2 literally came out hours ago as I'm recording this Sunday night. And you know what? Action-wise, it wasn't a doozy of an episode action-wise, but man, there was more from this episode I think I'm going to talk about than the first one, obviously, but I wasn't expecting to talk about as much or have this much to talk about from the episode based on how little action there was. It was a lot of exposition in this one. But before we get started, as always, Discord in the description along with the Patreon. Support the channel, join the greatest community in the universe. Let me know what you thought of the episode down below in the comments. Hit that like and subscribe button to catch all of my future reactions and all my videos here on MVP Nerd. But let's get right into it. The biggest thing from Lanterns, the Manhunters, and I, yet again, being online after episode 1, after I recorded my reaction last week, I was seeing some people online talk about the Manhunters, and I was like, you know what? I don't know. I wasn't like a no, it couldn't have been it, but I was like there were a lot of people that were like, oh yeah, Macon's probably going to be a manhunter. He's going to be a manhunter. And then after this one, I am on that board and it's like, yep, I'm on that boat too. Yep. Macon's going to be or it's either he is the manhunter or they definitely want you to think that he's the manhunter. For those of you that don't know, manhunters were I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, someone down below, they were the not the master of the universe, the council, the ones that made the Lantern Corps. They were their first attempt at the Guardians of the Universe, which the Lantern Corps now is. So it was that, and then it's like, oh shoot, we kind of fucked up there, and that's kind of like the skinny of it. They've basically been in the Lanterns from the beginning. They've been in the Blackest Night storyline, the Brightest Day story arc, the New 52. They've been mentioned all over the place in Lantern. So it's one of those things where I'm like, okay, cool, check. Keeping it consistent with the comics. But they want you to think, or I think that they want us to think, that Macon's a manhunter. He probably is, if I'm being completely honest, but they definitely want you to think that at this point right now, because I'll be completely honest, it's kind of a little fishy where it's like, well, he was concerned about what's going in and out of the football game, having the Hal walk through and go, why did this metal detector not ring and I've got metal on? And oh no, it's not detecting the metal, it's detecting alien life. His son is very, very intrigued about alien life. The only one that kind of doesn't seem concerned about the alien life is the sheriff. I'm going to get to that a little bit later. The son's wife, who is the sheriff. But yeah, the Manhunter, that's a big thing. We also have John Stewart, while he was going to get the lantern, running into what they didn't say by name, but it was probably the aliens that they killed, that the Manhunters killed at the football game, and then that blew himself up at the police station. They obviously want the Manhunter gone. It was also dropped by Hal Jordan that maybe the Manhunter, Abin Sur was supposed to bring him here, but then the Manhunter killed Abin Sur, and that's how Hal got his ring, kind of a deal. So they're laying a lot in that storyline. Is it Macon? Is it not? We're going to have to find out. I kind of think that it is. Yeah, just kind of think that it is. Even if it's not, it's going to be a big swerve. But I think that I don't know who else it could be. I know they tried to do the whole well, it could be Hal, wink, wink to John Stewart, but it ain't Hal. You and I both know it ain't Hal. It's probably Macon. He's probably the one that's the Manhunter for this. So they're laying that on. What's the Manhunter? We even got what I'm going to talk about at the end of the video, kind of bringing that into it. The second thing I wanted to mention with the reaction is John Stewart. This was a heavy John Stewart episode in my mind, because you had the right at the beginning, oh, I'm going to teach you to fly. Ring doesn't have enough power. But he was able to make a construct, make the bird, and he was able to keep that bird alive, basically alive, for the entire episode, flying all the way from where they are in Nebraska to Coast City and back while keeping that bird alive. And I'll be honest, when he was getting chased down the highway, dodging cars, my first thought was, keep the concentration, John. Keep the concentration. Don't lose the bird. I literally said it out loud. I'm like, keep the concentration, because I'm like, they were obviously putting us in that like mindset of like, this is a intense situation. And the fact that he was able to keep his concentration on the construct while dodging everything else, well, until he got, hit by the van at the end and got captured. But like his willpower, they showed in this that Jon Stewart, especially from the comics, his willpower is like Hal's got the greatest raw talent and he's the most fearless. They kind of sprinkled that at the beginning of the episode when he's like, oh, well, I'm a fighter pilot. So I just kind of like do, and it does. Like Hal's the fearless. He's got the greatest raw power. Jon Stewart's disciplined. He's highly disciplined. They even showed not only could he make that construct with like the ring at 5% power, after he took the ring off, he was able to keep that bird alive. I'm just going to keep using the word alive. Keep that bird alive for the entire episode until the very end, when, I'll be honest, you guys let me know down below when they did the whole thing where Hal's like, oh, well, the bird probably means something, right? Because it's got to be something from your psyche. And he goes, no, it's just a bird. And he kind of just crushes it and goes into it. That had to be bullshit, right? That'd be a little bit of bullshit. Like, that's got to be something from John's past that we just don't know about, right? That we're eventually going to find out. Let me know down below. What do you guys think? Do you guys really think it's nothing? Is it something, but he's hiding it from Hal because the little tea leaves they tried to put in there of like, can you really trust Hal Jordan? Can you trust him, John? He sent you all the way on this mission to give you busy work to do. The classic teacher student where it's like, hey, I want to learn. I'm here to learn. I'm ready to get into it. And then the teacher goes, nah, I'm going to send you on this busy work thing that to me is very important. And you're going to learn something from it. But you being the student can't quite see it. It gave me that kind of vibes the whole way. And then the student doesn't trust the teacher. And then after a while, it's like, oh, I see. If I would have just trusted you, none of this bad juju would have happened and we could have, gotten along. So I'm expecting that to rear its ugly head at some point. They've kind of planted the seed with that. Also, I'm going to say the lantern looks fucking awesome. Like when he reached into the pocket dimension, pulled out that lantern, and we saw it for the first time. I'm going to be honest. I know that after I saw on social media that apparently it was already posted what the lantern looked like. I didn't see it. Watching episode 2, this was the first time I saw the lantern. And when he pulled it out, I'm like, I got like all giddy, like, oh, that's the lantern. Like that thing looks dope. So yet again, love the lantern. Even on my notes, I put the lantern, exclamation, 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 because of how excited I was when they pulled it out. Also, we got a Batman reference. The sheriff, he's like, oh, where are you from? And she's like, I'm not from, what's it? Redville, Redville. Is that what it is? I forget the town. Redville, Roughville, whateverville, Nebraska. And she's like, oh no, I'm from Gotham. And I go, I did the Leo meme where it's like, oh, she said it. There's the Batman reference. So solidifying it in the DC universe. Gotham, like, yet again, probably not the Robert Pattinson Batman. If anything, it'll be the Brave and the Bold Batman that they plan on doing. I'm going to say Brave and the Bold Batman until it's something else, because that's kind of the rumors and the news that we've been talked about, is that the Superman, Green Lantern, and the Batman will be the next Batman movie they do, not the Robert Pattinson Batman for the DC EU or DCU, I guess is what they're calling it, the movie universe. So the fifth thing I have on the docket, guys, is the sheriff and Hal. There was a little bit after the, like, Hal goes to the ranch, gets shot. He wakes up in the hospital. Him and the sheriff kind of have this, like, this little back and forth. And I don't know if I'm looking too much into this, but the thing I liked from this was it was basically the, hey, you gotta stay out of my hair is basically what the sheriff was saying. You gotta listen to me. Cause Hal was like, I gotta talk to you. And she's like, let me do what I'm going to do. There's people here. I care about these people. And Hal, one track mind. Nope. The aliens. We got to figure this out. So kind of like the simple life versus the bigger threat, bigger picture, where it's like neither is wrong, but both is right. And like why I say that is Hal's 100% in the right. The alien, like finding out the aliens, them talking, him not having to do what he did and steal the bodies to figure it out. He would have then knows that she already knew, and all that could have been avoided. Wouldn't have even had to go to the ranch like he did. There's that part. It's like, he's right. That threat is needed, but also she's not on that level. She's not on the galactic police level. She's on the sheriff level, the human level. She's got that human instinct of like, there's a real town here. These are real people. They like what literally happened at that football game shook up the town. When she was like, Coach, you were going to speak about it. He goes, yeah, talking to the boys are a little shaken up by it still. Like there is a real human aspect to it. And I like how their conversation kind of like related to that, where it's like she's thinking obviously more the human aspect because that's the realm she lives in. She cares about the people of the town. Hal, on the other hand, not that I want to say he's like doesn't care, but he's so focused on the mission at hand for the Lanterns that it almost seems like he's disregarding that or not. It's not on the forefront of his mind. He's more worried about the threat, and just completing the mission at hand. So a little bit of that, like, hey, I'm going to need you not to step all over my toes, which let's be honest, when Hal said like I swear on Tom Osborn's life, he totally lied. He is totally going back to that combine or that compound. He's totally like, I swear on Tom, that was a lie. He is totally going to step all over her feet again. The other thing that I don't know yet, again, this is me kind of like a crackpot theory, as I want to say. I had the thought watching when she was like, I'm not on your side. I'm not on Macon's side. I'm on my side. Part of me goes, does that go to what I was just talking about? Or what do you guys think? Is she in it with the Macon and the son? Like, is this going to be something where she's trying to protect the father-in-law because she already knows, and she's using her position of power as the sheriff to then protect him? Like, there was a part of me that thought that, like, is she as clean as they want her to make her seem she is? Like, is this going to be like he ends up being the manhunter and she goes, I didn't know, kind of like the shock thing? Or will it be oh, you knew the whole time, bitch. You knew the whole time. And yet again, she was just hiding it to, protect because she's married to the guy's son. So like, there's a part of me there. It's like, I just want to know what you guys think when it comes to that. The only thing in the episode, I'm going to be honest, that I didn't like was I'm going to call it the coffee shop convo between, the Macon's wife, the grandma, the one that Jon Stewart had sex with, and Jon Stewart. I'm going to be honest, their whole convo made me do one of these where I'm watching, I just go, I'll roll the eyes, because I'm going to be honest, go back, watch that scene, listen, watch it. All I want you to do is ignore one word. Ignore one word. When she says white men, ignore it. Just just think she said men, because to me, I roll my eyes because it's like, I'm like, oh, okay. All right. We got to throw in that it's the white man's privilege. Like, oh, he could have been. You listen back to that whole conversation, omit the, like, what kind of man, the omit the race, and the convo plays out exactly the same. Like, the convo plays out exactly the same. You get the same point across. You didn't have to throw that in there, but you did. So it's like, part of me rolls my eyes, because like, oh great, here's the Hollywood kind of throw in there that they have to throw in that makes me just kind of, roll my eyes. But like, yet again, very small negative with the episode. Yet again, go back and watch that, and it's like, if you just say, oh, it's men, and men like men with power, men with, like, if you just said men, you can get the same point across you were trying to make, even with the, like, they tried playing like the race card then between John and Hal, when it's like, yeah, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that, especially with John, because John's a ex-Marine military guy. And yet again, I'm not going to speak like I'm ex-military. I'm not a veteran, but everyone that I know who is a veteran, they all have the same thought of, like, when you're in the unit, you kind of don't, it's like, those are your brothers, no matter what race they are. So like, really it should be like, John wouldn't even have that thought because of the background that he comes from. So like, really all you had to do is say man. And then, it gets the same point across. You can get the same doubt in, like, oh, can you trust Hal, kind of a thing. I just looked at that and thought that saying white man was just extra. Didn't need to be extra. Last thing I want to talk about was Sinestro, though. Sinestro, at the end of the episode, we finally get Sinestro. It only took 2 episodes to get him. And I did find it funny when Hal at this point, he is not here for pleasantries. I already talked about it before, of like the mission, and kind of overseeing the compassion part. He shows up and all he's like is, what do you know about the Manhunters? And Sinestro's like, oh man, like, ask me how I'm doing first. Hey, how you doing? What do you know about the Manhunters? But the more important thing is what Sinestro says. He says, if you have a Manhunter and he's still alive, that is your second biggest threat. And then he asks about Jon Stewart. So kind of insinuating there at the end that, yeah, the Manhunter's a big threat. It's your second biggest threat. But Jon Stewart's your biggest threat, Hal. And kind of implying that Jon Stewart is his biggest threat because of the fact, like I said, Hal's a great Green Lantern. Greatest raw willpower, fearless. Jon Stewart is highly disciplined. Like I said in the comics and stuff, Jon Stewart, his power, his willpower exceeds the ring. He can do it without the ring. So yet again, that would kind of be a threat to Hal Jordan if you're thinking it like Sinestro would. Now, if you're Hal, you probably shouldn't, because it's like, hey, he's on my team. But yet again, you're training your successor, and the point of a successor is to eventually take your job. So it's kind of like the QB1 and the QB2, like Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Brett Favre didn't want to teach Aaron Rodgers shit. It's like, figure it out on your own, kid. I'm not going to teach you how to take my job. It's kind of what we're dealing with here. Hal Jordan's teaching Jon Stewart, hey, how to take my job, kind of a thing. So yeah, Jon Stewart is your biggest threat. And it looks like he might be your biggest threat, but yet again, he's not going to be your biggest threat because you're all on the same team. I'm sure they're going to figure that out at some point, until, the modern timeline when Hal Jordan's dead. Because remember, don't forget that they showed us in the first episode, 2026, he is not alive. We spent the whole time in 2016 for this one, but yeah, that's all I got for this. Let me know down below. What do you guys think? What did you think of episode 2? What do you think about some of the things I talked about, some of the questions that I posed out to you guys? Remember, Discord in the description, Patreon if you want to support the channel. Hit that like and subscribe button. And obviously, like I said, comment down below. Cannot wait for next week. We get Lantern number 3. Looks like it's going to be from the vignette that they play at the end, might be a heavily John Stewart focused episode. But thank you guys for everything you do, for watching, for liking, subscribing, for sharing, all that good stuff. And as always, have a good day, everybody. We'd like to take the time to thank the people who make these videos possible, our patrons, whose names are listed on the screen now. If you'd like to become a patron, you can click the Patreon logo in the bottom right-hand corner. And if you'd like to check out another video from MVP Nerd, you can click the video in the upper left. As always, thanks for watching.